Anyone who studied African American history or interested in African American history might be familiar with the anti-literacy law. The anti-literacy law prohibited enslaved people of color as well as free people of color from being able to read or write. Most Southern states during the time of slavery enacted this law between 1740 and 1834. South Carolina was the first state to enforce that law with, if caught teaching an enslaved person or free person of color to read or write, they would have been fined $100 and 6 months imprisonment. But they was able to read the Bible. But African Americans was just so amazing and just couldn't be stopped. Our ancestors found different ways to be able to communicate as well as read and write. And they mostly used reading and writing for good. I ran across this article about this ex-slave who was freed because of the Civil War. But after he was freed, he received a letter from his former slave owner. I really found it interesting, but mostly important, If You Had Me Messed Up Was a Person, was Jordan Anderson. This is Jordan Anderson. Brother Jordan Anderson. In 1864, after 32 years in the service of his master, Jordan Anderson and his wife Amanda escaped the life of slavery when Union Army soldiers freed them from the plantation on which they had been working so tirelessly. This is Jordan's response. Well, a little bit of it. It was a long article. Sir, I got your letter and was glad to find that you have not forgotten Jordan and that you wanted me to come back and live with you again, promising to do better for me than anybody else can. I have often felt uneasy about you. I thought about the Yankees would have hung you long before this for harboring Rebs they found at your house. I suppose they never heard about you going to Colonel Martin's to kill the Union soldiers that was left by his company in their stable. Although you shot at me twice before I left you, I didn't want to hear of you being hurt, and glad you are still living. It will do me good to be back at home. But I want to know particularly what the good chances you're proposed to give me. I'm doing tolerably well here. I get $25 a month for clothing. I have comfortable home here for Mandy and my children. The folks call her Mrs. Anderson, and the children, Millie, Jane, and Grundy. They go to school, are learning well. Grateful for reading and writing.